Welcome to Bookish and Beyond, Money, where financial wisdom comes to life. In each episode, we break down the world's most impactful finance books, from money management guides to investment biographies. We explore key takeaways, author insights, and draw modern parallels to help you navigate today's financial landscape. Craving even more? Subscribers enjoy exclusive access to detailed book summaries, study guides, and timeline PDFs. Everything you need to deepen your financial savvy. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. This is Bookish and Beyond. Money?
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're diving deep into the world of personal finance.
Ooh, exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking about Tony Robbins' book, audiobook actually.
Right.
Money Master the Game.
Yes.
And you probably know Tony Robbins.
Yeah, motivational speaker success coach.
Exactly.
Kind of a big name.
Yeah, so this should be a really fun one. And I think what's really interesting about this book is that he actually wrote this
Oh, yeah.
out of a place of frustration.
Yeah, he was kind of frustrated with the way that the financial system was working.
Exactly. He felt like it was really rigged
Totally.
against the average person.
Yeah.
So he really wanted to kind of pull back the curtain and
Yeah, and give people the tools and the strategies that they need to kind of take control of their own finances and not be taken advantage of.
Exactly. So that's kind of our mission on this deep dive too, right? To kind of equip you with the knowledge.
Yes.
To become a savvy investor so you can navigate this world of finance and achieve that financial security that we all dream of.
Totally.
All right. So let's jump right in. One of the first things that Robbins talks about is this incredibly powerful concept.
Yeah.
The power of compounding.
Yes, compounding is key.
And it's something that I have to admit, like, I understand it, but I never fully, internalize it until I see the numbers.
Right. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah. It's kind of like magic.
It is. It really is. Because it's this idea that consistent saving and investing over time leads to exponential growth.
Right. Like a snowball effect.
Exactly. Like a snowball rolling downhill, just getting bigger and bigger as it goes. And Robbins illustrates this point with a story about Theodore Johnson, who was just a regular UPS worker.
Wow.
And he diligently saved and invested a portion of his income over decades. And guess what? He ended up with millions of dollars.
Millions from a UPS salary.
I know, it's incredible, right? It really shows you that you don't have to be earning a six-figure salary to build wealth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So inspiring.
It is. But here's the thing, and this is where Robin gets really passionate.
Okay.
He also warns about the dangers of fees.
Oh, yeah. Fees.
Those pesky fees, especially with things like mutual funds.
Yeah.
He says those fees can really eat away at your returns over time.
Like termites.
Exactly. Like termites slowly but surely devouring your potential nest egg.
And did you know that the average mutual fund fee could cost someone up to 70% of their potential returns over a lifetime? 70%. That's a huge chunk of your potential wealth.
I know. It's shocking, right?
Gone just because of fees.
It's crazy. And it's something that a lot of people just overlook.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And so that's why Robbins stresses the importance of being an insider.
Right. The insider. So who is this insider?
Well, it's not necessarily like a specific person with like a secret handshake or anything like that.
Okay, so not like a Wall Street guru or something.
Not exactly. It's more of a mindset and approach to finance.
Wow.
It's about understanding the rules of the game, so to speak, so you can make informed decisions and avoid the traps that so many people fall into.
So it's about becoming financially literate, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being empowered to make your own decisions and not just blindly following what others tell you.
Right. It's like seeing through the smoke and mirror.
That are in your best interest, not someone else's.
I like that. And I think a big part of becoming this insider is recognizing those common financial myths that can lead us astray, right?
Totally.
And Robbins debunks 9 of them in the book. Which ones really stood out to you?
Well, there are so many good ones, but I think 2 that are particularly relevant are the myth that mutual funds are a safe and reliable way to invest, and the myth that your broker is always looking out for your best interests.
Okay, so let's start with the mutual funds myth.
Okay.
A lot of people, I think, do think of mutual funds as a safe bet.
They do. But the truth is, mutual funds can come with high fees that can really eat away at your returns.
All right, you mentioned that earlier, and it's crazy how those seemingly small percentages can add up over time.
Yeah, it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
So what does Robbins recommend instead of mutual funds?
Well, he's a big advocate for index funds.
Index funds.
Yeah, have you ever heard of those?
I have heard of them, but tell me more.
So index funds basically passively track a specific market index, like the S&P 500, for example.
Okay.
And they tend to have much lower fees than actively managed funds and often outperform them over the long term.
Lower fees, I get that means more money in your pocket, but why do they tend to outperform? That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does, but it actually ties into something called the efficient market hypothesis.
Okay.
And this basically says that it's very difficult to consistently beat the market because stock prices already reflect all available information. So trying to pick individual stocks or actively manage a fund is like trying to outsmart the collective wisdom of the entire market.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, so by investing in a broad market index, you're essentially betting on the overall growth of the economy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and historically, that has been a winning strategy.
So index funds, it sounds like a great option, especially for someone who's just starting out and doesn't want to spend hours and hours researching individual stocks.
Totally.
Okay, so what about that second myth that you mentioned about brokers?
Right, the myth that your broker is always looking out for your best interests.
I think a lot of people assume that's the case.
They do, and while there are certainly ethical and trustworthy brokers out there, the reality is that many operate under a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, what do you mean by that?
Well, it means that their compensation is often tied to selling you specific financial products,
Oh, okay.
regardless of whether those products are the best fit for your needs.
So it's like going to a car dealership where the salesperson gets a bigger commission for selling you a certain model, even if it's not the best car for you.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
So it's crucial to find a financial advisor who's legally obligated to put your interests first.
Okay, so what should we look for?
You want to look for someone who is a fiduciary.
A fiduciary.
Yeah, a fiduciary has a legal and ethical obligation to act in your best interest.
Okay, so fiduciary, good, non-fiduciary, proceed with caution.
Exactly. It's all about protecting yourself and making sure you're working with someone who truly has your best interests at heart.
All right, so it sounds like when it comes to finance, we need to be very careful who we trust.
Definitely.
And speaking of things we might want to question a bit more, Robbins also challenges this idea that your 401k is your golden ticket to a comfortable retirement.
Yeah, the 401k myth.
And I know 401ks are like the cornerstone of retirement planning for a lot of people.
They are.
So it seems kind of counterintuitive to question their value.
Yeah, but Robbins does have some reservations.
What are they?
Well, for one thing, he points out that some 401k plans have high administrative fees that can eat into your returns.
Oh, those fees again.
Right. They're everywhere. Another issue is that 401k plans often have limited investment options.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with what they offer.
Exactly, even if you'd prefer more control over your investments.
That makes sense.
And that limited control can be a real drawback, so it's something to consider when you're planning your retirement savings strategy.
So it sounds like we need to do our due diligence and really scrutinize those 401k plan details.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe explore alternative options like a self-directed IRA if we want more control and flexibility.
Exactly. It's all about being informed and making choices that align with your individual needs and goals.
Okay, so we've talked about the power of compounding the importance of becoming an insider and debunk some common myths.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Well, Robbins lays out 3 distinct tiers of financial freedom.
3 tiers.
Yeah, financial security, financial independence, and freedom.
Okay, let's break those down.
So financial security, that's the foundation. It means covering your basic needs without relying on a job.
Okay, that makes sense.
Financial independence, that's the next level.
Mm-hmm.
It's about having the resources to live the life you desire without financial constraints.
So you're not worried about bills. You can do the things that you love.
Exactly. And then there's true financial freedom, the ultimate goal.
Oh, wow.
This is about having the abundance to make a significant impact on the world and pursue your passions without any limitations.
That sounds amazing.
Right. It's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about the freedom and the power that comes with it.
Yeah, the ability to live life on your own terms.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. And to help us achieve these goals, Robbins actually offers a financial planning tool in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This tool helps you visualize your goals, create a realistic plan, and track your progress.
Oh, that sounds really helpful.
It's super helpful because it takes into account your income, your expenses, your assets, and your debts.
Okay.
And it gives you a clear picture of your current financial situation and then helps you chart a course toward your desired future.
So it's like a roadmap.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool for anyone who's serious about taking control of their financial destiny.
I love that. And speaking of inspiring stories,
Yeah.
Robbins shares the story of Angela, who achieved financial security despite starting her investing journey later in life.
Yes, Angela's story is so inspiring.
It really shows that it's never too late to get started.
It really is.
All right, so Robbins doesn't just leave us with feel-good stories and concepts.
Yeah.
He also provides some very actionable steps
He does.
to speed up this path to financial freedom.
He does.
So in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to dive deep into those 5 key strategies that he outlines and explore how you can implement them in your own life.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about how Tony Robbins lays out these 3 tiers of financial freedom.
Yeah. And that roadmap.
Exactly. And this idea of creating a roadmap to actually get you there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't stop there.
No.
He also dives deeper into debunking more of these financial myths that can really hold people back.
Yeah.
I think we all fall for them sometimes.
Absolutely.
So which myth did you want to kind of unpack further?
Well, the one about fees always being just a small price to pay, I think is a really big one.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just dismiss those seemingly small percentages.
Right.
But Robbins really drives home the point that they can have a massive impact on your long-term returns.
He uses a pretty striking image. He compares the mutual fund industry to a skimming operation.
He does.
That's a bold statement.
It is, but it's meant to highlight how those fees can add up over time, potentially costing you hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars.
Wow.
And the worst part is that you're not necessarily getting better performance for those high fees.
Yeah.
Studies show that actively managed mutual funds often underperform compared to low-cost index funds.
Right. It's like throwing money away for no reason.
Exactly.
So staying vigilant about fees is crucial,
Absolutely.
especially with those actively managed funds.
Yeah.
Okay, what about myth number 6, the one about target date funds?
Right.
A lot of people see those as like a simple hands-off approach to investing.
Yeah, just set it and forget it.
Exactly. So what's the issue with them? The idea is that they adjust their asset allocation over time as you get closer to retirement,
Right.
gradually shifting from stocks to bonds.
Right.
That seems to make sense.
It does, but the problem is that many TDFs have higher fees than low-cost index funds.
Okay.
And they don't always perform as well as they should, especially during times of market volatility.
So even with a seemingly safe option like a TDF, you still need to do your research.
Yes.
Understand the fees involved and make sure it aligns with your personal risk tolerance and your retirement goals.
Exactly.
Don't just assume it's the best option for you.
Yeah, there might be better alternatives out there,
Okay.
like building a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds, for example.
Okay. I like that. And speaking of things that often get a bad rap,
Yeah.
Robbins takes on myth number 7. I hate annuities. And you should too.
Annuities.
And I feel like annuities are one of those things that people have like really strong opinions about.
They do.
They either love them or they hate them. Right. So what's Robbins' take?
Well, he points out that annuities can actually be beneficial in certain situations.
Really?
Yeah, the key is to understand the different types of annuities and how they work.
Okay, so there are different types.
There are.
Yes.
So variable annuities, for example, those can be quite complex and often come with high fees.
Okay.
Those are the ones that tend to give annuities a bad name.
Yeah, I can see why.
But fixed annuities,
Okay.
those can actually provide a guaranteed stream of income during retirement,
Okay.
which can be very appealing for people who are worried about outliving their savings.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having that predictable income stream
Yeah.
can provide a lot of peace of mind, especially as you get older.
Exactly.
But I can also see how the complexity of some annuities could be intimidating.
Totally.
It sounds like you really need to do your homework
Yes.
and maybe even consult a financial advisor who can kind of break it down for you.
Absolutely. Not all annuities are created equal, so it's essential to understand the differences and make sure you're choosing one that aligns with your needs and your goals.
Okay, great advice. Last myth on our list, myth number 9,
Yeah.
the lies we tell ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
This one feels a little different from the others
It does.
because it's not about external forces like fees or financial products.
Right.
It's about those internal roadblocks that we put up.
It is. This is where Robbins really dives into the psychology of money
Yeah.
and those limiting beliefs that can sabotage our financial progress.
Right.
He reminds us that we often create stories to explain why we're not where we want to be financially.
Oh, yeah.
We blame external factors or tell ourselves we're just not good with money.
I'm just not a numbers person.
Exactly. Or investing is too risky.
Yeah, those kinds of thoughts.
Right. And those thoughts can really hold us back.
Absolutely.
And Robbins challenges us to confront those beliefs and examine their validity.
Okay.
Like, where did those beliefs come from? Are they actually true, or are they just stories we've been telling ourselves?
It's like we need to reframe our relationship with money.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it as something scary or unattainable,
Right.
we need to view it as a tool A resource
A tool.
that can help us achieve our goals and create a better life.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful ways to shift those limiting beliefs is to change our state.
Our state.
Yeah, both physically and mentally.
Okay.
Robbins is a big advocate for things like visualization affirmations and even power posing.
Wait, power posing, like striking a superhero stance.
Yes. It sounds silly, but research shows that adopting a powerful posture can actually change your biochemistry.
Really?
Yeah, it boosts testosterone and reduces cortisol, which leads to increased confidence and a greater willingness to take risks.
Wow. So it's not just about faking it till you make it.
Right.
There's an actual physiological component to it.
There is. It's fascinating how our body language can influence our thoughts and our feelings.
I love that it's like a physical manifestation of those empowering beliefs that we're trying to cultivate. Okay, so we've tackled those limiting beliefs. We've learned some techniques for shifting our mindset.
Yeah.
What's next? How do we start putting all this into action?
Well, that's where Robbins gets into the nitty-gritty of building a solid financial plan. He dedicates a whole section of the book to defining your financial goals and creating a realistic plan to achieve them.
So it's not just about dreaming big. It's about translating those dreams into concrete goals.
Yes.
And then creating a step-by-step plan to reach them.
Yes. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to explore those actionable steps that Robbins outlines for achieving financial freedom.
Yes.
He provides 5 key strategies that can help you accelerate your progress and make those dreams a reality. Okay, so we've talked about the power of compounding and becoming an insider and debunked some of those big myths.
Right.
Now it's time to put it all together.
Yes. Time for action.
Exactly. What are those 5 key strategies that Robbins lays out?
Okay, so strategy number 1. This one should sound familiar. Save more and invest the difference.
Makes sense. We've talked about compounding a lot. You got to make those contributions, right?
Exactly. Maximizing those contributions is key. But, sometimes that's easier said than done.
For sure.
But Robbins has some really good tips.
Like what?
Like gradually increasing your savings rate over time.
Okay.
He calls this the Save More Tomorrow plan.
Save more tomorrow. I like that.
It's really smart. You basically commit to saving a portion of any future raises you get.
Oh, that's clever. Because you're not reducing your take-home pay right now.
Exactly. You're just committing to save a portion of that future increase.
Almost like tricking yourself into saving more.
It is. And another thing, automation is key.
Automation of.
Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings or investment accounts.
Oh, so you don't even have to think about it.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind.
I like that.
Make it a habit, not a chore.
Okay, what about strategy number 2?
All right, strategy number 2 is all about boosting your earning potential. Earn more and invest the difference.
Okay, so this is not just about cutting back. It's about making more money.
Yes. It's about being proactive, creating opportunities,
Yeah.
So Robbins encourages us to think outside the box.
Okay.
Explore entrepreneurial opportunities, maybe develop some new skills that are in high demand.
Yeah.
Even consider side hustles.
Side hustles, right?
To generate some additional income.
Multiple streams of income.
Exactly. You're not relying on just one source.
Like building a safety net.
Yes. And it also opens up possibilities for pursuing passions. Maybe turning hobbies into income-generating ventures.
I love that.
Yeah, Robbins is a big believer in that. And he highlights the stories of some amazing entrepreneurs like Nick Woodman, the founder of GoPro, and Sarah Blakely, who created Spanx.
Wow, those are inspiring stories.
They are, right. They identified needs in the market, took calculated risks, and built these incredible businesses from scratch.
Really shows that anyone can do it.
Yeah, with the right mindset, for sure.
So inspiring. Okay, strategy number 3.
Number 3, reduce fees and taxes and invest the difference.
We've talked about fees a lot. Those little percentages really add up.
They do. They really do. It's death by a thousand cuts. Robbins is a big fan of those low-cost index funds.
Right.
A much more efficient way to invest.
And how about reducing taxes?
Yeah, so Robbins encourages us to look into things like 401ks and IRAs.
Okay, those are the tax-advantaged accounts.
Exactly. Your investments can grow tax-deferred, so you don't pay taxes on those earnings until you withdraw them in retirement.
Okay, makes sense.
He also talks about some strategies that the ultra-wealthy use to legally minimize their taxes, but we'll save that for another deep dive.
Oh, now I'm really intrigued.
Lots of secrets out there.
All right, strategy number 4, maximize returns. How do we do that?
Okay, so Robbins talks about this idea of asymmetric risk-reward.
Asymmetric risk-reward.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Basically, finding investments where the potential upside is much bigger than the potential downside.
Oh.
Finding those hidden gems that have the potential for outsized returns.
Interesting. So it's not about avoiding risk altogether.
No, it's about taking calculated risks.
Right.
Understanding the risks involved, doing your due diligence, and making informed decisions.
Got it. And of course, diversification is key.
Absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Spreading your investments across different things like stocks, bonds, real estate, even those alternative investments can help you manage that risk.
And enhance those returns.
Exactly. Building a portfolio that can weather those market storms.
Yes.
Generate that consistent growth over time.
Okay, that makes sense. On to the last strategy.
All right. Strategy number 5. Change your life and lifestyle for the better.
That's a little vague. What does he mean by that?
He's saying that sometimes a change of scenery can have a really big impact on our financial well-being.
Okay.
He calls it geographical arbitrage.
Geographical arbitrage, okay.
It's about exploring options, like maybe moving to a location with a lower cost of living.
Oh, I see.
And maybe some more favorable tax environment.
So make your money go further.
Exactly. But obviously, uprooting your life and moving is a big decision.
Yeah, definitely not for everyone.
Right. Robbins himself made this move.
He did.
He did. He relocated to Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Highlighted the financial benefits, like lower taxes and lower cost of living, but also the lifestyle benefits.
Right. Beautiful place, great weather.
Exactly. But again, it's not one size fits all.
For sure.
It depends on your individual circumstances, your career, family, all of that.
Just about exploring options.
Yeah, and finding what works best for you. But sometimes changing your environment can have a huge positive effect on your finances.
And your well-being.
Absolutely.
Wow, this deep dive has been packed with so much great information.
Right.
I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of how to approach my own personal finances.
That's awesome. And remember, Robbins emphasizes that the journey to financial freedom, it's more than just money.
Yeah.
It's about creating a life of purpose.
Yeah.
Meaning impact, aligning your goals with your values.
And his final message really hit home for me.
What's that?
The greatest investment you can make is in yourself and your life.
So true. Invest in your knowledge, your skills, your health, your relationships. Those are the foundations of true wealth and fulfillment.
Absolutely. This has been a fantastic deep dive.
It has.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you feel empowered and inspired to take control of your finances and create that life you desire.
Financial freedom is within your reach.
Absolutely. Start small, stay consistent, and never give up on your dreams.
And we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.